year now. Berlin now has what is called a cyberbrothel, meaning that the customers, who are majority men, have the option to rent out these AI dolls, and these dolls can have conversations with them, they can physically interact with them. The men also have the option to get, a VR headset, so it feels as real as possible even though they're only talking to a machine. They can book them for hours or even the entire night. Anybody with a couple of $100 can go to these AI dolls. Now, Philipp Fusenegger, who is, the owner of this, has said that people just feel more comfortable when they're talking to a machine because machines don't judge you. Is it that machines do not judge you, or is it that you can do whatever you want to a machine? Things that would be very illegal to do to a woman. Because we're getting incredibly concerning reports on these things. You are able to customize.
Hold on, bro, man. I told y'all, I was talking about this over a year ago, that the sex bots are coming, right? And it's 2025. We in the middle of 2025. The sex bots are here, and don't think it's just only going to be for men. It's going to be for women too. And the thing about this is it's going to mess up interpersonal relationships in society. We already got a bunch of people that don't know how to talk to other people. We got kids and like young boys, young men that are scared to approach women. We got women that are kind of staying to themselves and not really, going out and interacting with the world. And stuff like this is only going to make it worse. We already know that corn is bad. We already knew that corn is bad. Now we're bringing that type of experience into more so real life, or what you feel like is real life, right? Because at the end of the day, whether you're watching corn or whether you're with a sex bot or whether you're with a real person, your subconscious doesn't understand the difference between these different things. That's why it's better to make a real connection with a real human, so there's actual real exchange of energy, and you're actually building a connection. We really should be saving sex for marriage and making kids and stuff like that. So this is definitely crazy, but let's go ahead and watch the rest.
The way they look, their hair, their eyes, their skin, their size. You can even give them features that would normally be seen in people who are below the age of 18. You can also reinforce the mindset that when it comes to heterosexual relationships, the only person whose actual desires and thoughts matter are the man's. The woman is just there to do whatever you want her to do. You're going to make it impossible for these men to have actual interactions with real-life human beings. We're also getting reports on, men asking for dolls with injuries, with blood, asking to do incredibly horrific and violent things to these dolls. Things that could land them in prison if they were to do that to an actual woman. But hey, that is just fantasy. It's not reality, right? We have never seen men who are interested in these types of things and who are consuming this type of content online or now in real life with these types of dolls actually targeting and being violent towards real-life human beings, real life women. That has never happened before, and it will definitely not happen here. It is all just about, making sure men have a place where they can live out their depraved fantasy. Because God forbid a man is ever judged for wanting to be violent towards a woman, for wanting somebody that looks like a minor, for wanting a woman covered in bruises and injuries and blood. You should never judge a man for that. That's just the way they are, right? Also, they are saying, their workday begins with a doll shower, which just sounds like the nastiest things ever because they have to clean up all of these dolls after the men are done with them. They then put on this beautiful makeup on these dolls so they look like real women. One of the dolls is called Kokeshi. Her skin is described as super soft, and it even smells like perfume. 1 hour with her costs $100, and the owner himself says that it is very rare for female customers to come, but they do have a male doll for that, even though it gets used next to never, at least not by women. The owner says he wanted to create an art gallery, somewhere where you could interact with the art by using.
She's going over a lot of stuff, so let's break some of it down. So in the beginning, she was talking about these guys with these weird fetishes, and they're asking for certain things, which in my head is like, double-edged sword, right? It's like, okay, maybe you're giving some of these guys with these weird fetishes an outlet so they don't bring it to real life, which I guess might be somewhat good, but at the end of the day, what happens when they don't have access to a doll? They don't have that $100. And by the way, $100, they literally might as well go get a real woman. But that's a whole different conversation, right? But so what happens when they don't have access to the doll, when they don't have the money for that? That can, like she said, that can be bad because they can then go and want to, they still got those urges. They got those fetishes. They're used to getting that release instead of learning how to control their damn self. And, that can definitely be bad for like real life women in society. And then she said something about the male doll not being used towards the end there, which I definitely understand, because I think women will more so interact with that when they could have it in their house. You know, I think it was some old movie. It was like robots and AI, and the older lady, she had the male doll in the house, and you know, he was cooking, cleaning, doing all that stuff. But you know, when everybody went away, she also used him for other things. So I think women wouldn't necessarily want to go to a place and do it like how guys, we don't care, because you know, it's a lot of guys, they'll stick their thing in any hole, so that it doesn't even matter to them when or where it happens. They not embarrassed about it at all. Rather than a woman, she probably would want that more so in the comfort of her home. So if it became affordable, if it became something that, you know, we could have in our homes, you would definitely see a lot more women doing it. But you know, let's go ahead and finish this up real quick.
And abusing it, you know, that is the way you're supposed to interact with art. He says, after a few minutes, the doll adjusts to my body heat, and then it's very comfortable. At first, this was supposed to be temporary, but it got more and more popular. The way Kokeshi, you know, welcomes these men is by saying, "Hi, I am Kokeshi. I'm an intergalactic being. It's my cosmic mission to bring the intercourse of the future to the Earth." The person behind the voice is a real-life human being. There's a camera, and she can see everything that is happening, so she can also like react to what is happening, I guess. She wants to stay anonymous and calls herself Aphrodite. She does say she's trying to, you know, also teach consent to these adult men. If somebody just, you know, kind of jumps her, she says she'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, please ask me before you do this." Now, what do these dolls look like? They look like all the women out there, all real-life women. A very big chest next to no waist, because organs are not necessary when you're a woman, and very long legs. That's super educational for the men, because, you know, that is what the founder is saying, that he wants the men to be free to explore and to also maybe learn something out of this. Now they're going out and learning that, you know, women should do whatever they want them to do, look however they want them to look, not complain, not cry, not yell, and also very unrealistic proportions. He does say that the people who manufacture these dolls are white men. We know. It is quite obvious, but thank you. Now, as I said, there's also a VR element to this. It's so you can imagine a woman that looks the way you want her to look in whatever situation you want her to be in. But then you also have the option to actually touch something in real life, aka the doll. We have the options to do so many things with, you know, modern technology. But in this instance, it was chosen to, you know, feed men's addiction to adult content, unrealistic ideas about women, and also make them believe that certain, you know, fantasies that are definitely not okay are okay. There is a reason why, you know, it's mostly men who are interested in establishments like that. And instead of addressing that and fixing that, you're just feeding more into it.
Yeah, so she definitely got some good points I agree with. I definitely think this is bad for men in general. We shouldn't be doing this, but I think it's bad for all people, because the more normalized this stuff become, it's going to make its way into the house. And it's no difference between a woman having a whole male doll and her using a toy or rose or anything, right? And then you add the fact that you do got women, it's a smaller percentage of women that want to do like dominating and damn near dangerous stuff to men. So, you know, they'll be interacting with those type of fantasies. But yeah, as far as us guys, bro, do not go to any place like this. I don't even want y'all going to real brothels, okay? So the cyber brothels, stay far away from it. Go find a real girl, especially if you're a black guy. I heard they love black guys in Germany, so you shouldn't even need to go to a brothel. This is for those, you know, I guess the incel type of culture, the guys that have given up on women, and you know, they just want a release. And you know, like I said, like corn, yeah, there's some countries that are making it illegal, but you know, it's not, I don't think it's ever going to be like worldwide illegal. It's too many people making too much money off of it. And once certain companies get wind of this going on, and, you know, they're getting $100 per hour per guy and all that stuff, like it's only going to get more common in other places. You know, they got to put some regulations on this type of stuff, man, especially for like young guys. I don't want to see teens, guys that are minors, going into places like this. At least put some type of age restriction on it, because and then us as men, we need to make sure we're educating our younger brothers, our nephews, sons on the fact that this type of stuff will mess up your brain. It's going to mess up your mind. It's like, you don't want that instant gratification like that. You want the longer term gratification of you actually having to build yourself up to become the type of guy that can get the most attractive woman in the room, not just going and buying her, especially the cyber version, man. But let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments below. Crazy times we in, crazy times we're in. Love y'all. I'm out. Stay safe.